Well, we're back, everybody. When the last time we were here, the Cavs didn't win. 7 days later, Cavs.
We were like, we think no, maybe.
I can sniff a win against the Bucks. We love chicken nuggets. My God, Larry Nance Jr. clearly likes chicken nuggets. I thought that was kind of cute.
Yeah, he almost
kind of cute.
You could die from the amount of nuggets he would have had to eat from that.
Holly, I concur. I cannot eat fast food anymore because it makes my stomach go bleh. But I give any of these guys credit who eat all this stuff. Holly Wetzel's there.
Nuggets are the best. Continue.
They are. Holly Wetzel's there. I'm Andy Billman here. I will actually go down this road real quick. So when I am like maybe a little happy and saucy, hey JVS, good to see you, brother. Facebook, what up? I don't like it any other time. I can do White Castle. I can do.
Do those still exist?
Oh yeah. Do they still?
Andy, I've never had White.
For people who don't know, I was born in Cleveland, but I grew up my high school years in Columbus. And so after too many Kool-Aids in high school, we would all go to White Castle. White Castle was originated. One of the biggest ones in the country is in Columbus, Ohio. So that would be the thing to do. And I don't mind White Castle when you're a little saucy. When you're sober, White Castle, I think, is so bad.
Oh. See, yeah, there's food. Like people are like, I can only eat Taco Bell drunk. And I'm like, well, I can eat it at any point of any day. Doesn't matter to me. I know, shame on me.
Javius not impressed. I
know. Look, there's a lot of food issues I have not had. Andy, I did not have cream cheese until I was 24 years old.
Oh, really? Jesus.
It's something.
That is an amazing statement. Cream cheese was a Wetzel's not.
No, we never had cream cheese in our house. No, my parents never bought it. They didn't like it. So
wow.
I never had it. And I went to San Francisco to see my best friend at the time that was living out there. And she's like, let's go get a bagel with cream cheese. And I was like,
let's get crazy.
Like cream cheese. She's like, what in the actual is wrong with you that you have not had it? Poor Jay. He's like, Holly, I know it's so bad. But I had the best homemade cream cheese in San Francisco. Like it was the best. And the bagels are so good, Andy. I took a dozen bagels home on the plane.
Here's a tip.
That is so true. I can't even make that up.
I funny enough, I was gonna say what Damian said. I'm actually not a cream cheese fan at all. It doesn't. My mom loves cream cheese. Jane, by the way, Jane Wetzel. I am really surprised. I thought every Jane loved cream cheese. My mom loves cream cheese. It's because she would put cream cheese on my bagel every time. And finally, like as a high school senior, I'm like, I've told you that I don't like cream cheese. I don't. And I'm with Damian. I don't like anything sour, mayonnaise, cream cheese. Blech.
Oh, see, I'm all about all that. Gimme.
Well, usually it's one or the other. Javius and I. Hey, Javius, high five. He knows.
Nope. I had a bagel with cream cheese this morning.
And for people who don't know, because here, Jane Billman. Hi, Mom. She got vaccinated today.
Oh, yay.
Yay. Whipped cream cheese.
That's right, Jane. That is right.
There are things that we're all talented with. My mom is a food connoisseur. She does not just know things. She has like the best steak is at Stu Leonard's. And she's right. She's like, here we go. Pumpkin cream cheese.
Here we go. What about garlic? What about garlic, Jane?
My mom is so excited. Now she is a foodie. When she comes, she spoils me and my boys rotten, and she takes us. You've never been to Northeast in Connecticut, New York. There's a great grocery store called Stu Leonard's. They actually have puppets and stuff. It's great for little kids. It really is. It's not cheap, but they have really good farm-made food. And my mom gets the biggest fucking cart. It's like, we're going to get this. Pretzel rolls. Like anything. Just piles it into
all of it.
Oh, hot sauce or mild sauce? What's
the way to roll? Garlic. That's my girl.
She is so funny. I can hear her laughing as I'm saying this. She gets very particular about breads, and so she's got to have I gotta have this in the morning. This kind of I can see her. Let's see what she's texting now. Yeah, Miss, I know you do, Mom. You'll be here soon in July. July will be here like just before you know it. It'll be here.
I appreciate a woman that loves bread. Okay. I took a dozen bagels on a flight on a red eye back to Cleveland from San Francisco. So I love it.
If you ever been on the coast, my mom got giving details. Who spent I know my mom did 400. It was mom. It was great. It's steak for weeks. And she does not get cheap stuff. The good cinnamon rolls. Anyways, yum. Okay, there it is, Mom. I don't know what is going on my internet. There we go.
Yeah, you were out on me. I thought that was me. Okay. Usually-
No. We had a great 4th, is right, Mom. We did have a great 4th. I'm so happy my mom got vaccinated. Damien, mayonnaise is absolutely atrocious. I agree.
Nope.
I completely agree. I have never understood mayonnaise.
I understand it really well. And Miracle Whip.
Ooh, whoa.
That was a Wetzel staple growing up, Miracle Whip.
You know, I don't know if Miracle Whip has carried over to this next generation, but to Holly's point, it's a very big shock when you bite into Miracle Whip, because I do like tuna with mayonnaise, obviously. But when it's Miracle Whip and not mayonnaise, it is a shock. It is drastically different tasting.
It is. I'm not a tuna. I can't. The smell. I don't know what I was thinking one day. I accidentally like the shredded chicken. It was tuna. Take that salad. Trash. Can't even get near it. So kudos to people that eat tuna.
Miracle Whip scary. Yeah, that's my mom. I'm with you. But she does like mayonnaise, and she has to get Duke's. Yeah, she's very pinkies up, Mom. Only the best.
Fancy schmancy.
Mom, we have to talk about sports. I could talk to you about food all day. I'm going to call you tomorrow. I love you, and I'm glad you got vaccinated. I was so excited. That made my day. Tuna will never be in my house. Oh, Damien, you don't know. Tuna's wonderful. I love tuna.
I'm with you there, Damien.
Dude, I can do tuna steaks, tuna out of a can. I'm not prejudiced. Whatever. No big deal. No biggie. I like the chicken in the sea, lady. I like Star-Kissed. Love it all.
Chicken of the sea.
Yes. Chicken of the sea. Bumblebee. Go Cavs. That's right, Mom. Boy, the Cavs stink right now. The Cavs stink. Let's go back up. Drew Salt, did you make it through all my mom's comments? Where's Drew Salt? Let's get to his comment.
That was a good one.
What is the biggest offseason free agent you guys want to get? Drew, I love you, brother. Thank you for being patient, as I know you're probably hold on. We were going to lead off with this topic. The latest rumors today, that's like, and this is banter. These aren't articles. So when I say this isn't like Cleveland.com or no, not even fan-sided stuff. This is just banter. Would you trade Kareem Hunt for J.J. Watt? That's interesting. What would Holly Wetzel do?
So literally right before we went on, Andy drops that bomb on me. I'm like, what? Huh? Like, I don't look. You said trade Kareem Hunt, and I'm like, nope. Like, what are you even thinking? And then,
it's tough.
That's really tough. I'm still going to go with no, though. I feel like, first of all, Kareem Hunt's got a lot. How old is Kareem Hunt? He's not that old.
No, he's not. He's
mid-20s, right?
Yeah, because he graduated. Let's say 27, 28. Somewhere in that range.
JJ Watt's 33.
He's hit the hurdle. He's hit the hurdle to the point where three more years.
He's over 30. All right.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah. Three more years in the league. Something like that.
Sherman. Richard Sherman's 33, I think.
Yeah.
But no, I mean the chemistry he has with Chubb, I'm not breaking that up. I'm keeping Chubb, and look, Kareem Hunt, I thought had played fantastic for us this year, so I'm not doing it. I mean, there's other ways we can get around because if I don't want, and honestly, I would take Trey Hendrickson over JJ Watt.
Ooh, so my son asked me this because my son,
So what do you think?
Well, my son is very adept now on the internet. Saw this rumor and he pointed it out to me before we came on. I was like, "Ooh, this is interesting," and we talked about it. And I had the same hesitations as Holly did. I would not trade Kareem Hunt for JJ Watt. Here's my brain buster. I might trade OBJ though.
Well, there's rumors that he might be wanted in Tampa, right?
That came out today. Let's get the young man from ESPN. There's a new guy on ESPN. Or maybe he's not a new guy, but someone I've never recognized before in the past. And Jeff Darlington. And Darlington was one who said, I could see Tampa Bay making a push for Odell Beckham because Brady, obviously Odell's a big fan of Brady. And I don't think that's crazy. I don't think that's pulling something out of thin air. OBJ definitely loves Brady, and I think that would not be a crazy thing. I think that, well, let's take this in two different parts. JJ Watt being in Cleveland to me, I know Drew is asking for free agency. I go with Holly. I want that guy Hendrickson from the Saints. I also wouldn't mind getting one of these safeties from the Vikings. I like those ideas a lot for free agents. I like that a lot. I like the idea though of getting Hendrickson. I know he's only done it 1 year playing on that kind of level. So you're really putting all your eggs in one basket saying you think this is his breakout and he's going up from here. I get that, but I like Hendrickson. I'm with Holly. I really do. I think it would be a good addition, something they need. The other two guys are Harris and Smith, the safeties from Minnesota. Harris is probably one of the more likely ones. He's another unrestricted free agent. I don't see the Vikings, as everybody else has been alluding to, them putting the franchise tag. That makes a lot of sense. And here's the only reason why I say that. I don't know how much you want to bank on Delpit coming back and just being ready to play. And that,
good point.
I just think getting a guy like that would make a lot of sense. So Drew Salt, Hendrickson, and one of the safeties from the Vikings, especially that guy, I mentioned his name now. Of course, I forget and I put it down. Harris, I think make a lot of sense. Here's something I would I see Justin Simmons from Denver. That's a good name. Joe, Joe, I've never seen you in the room before. Welcome to the show, Joe. Here's what we do. Draft another DB in the first, target a linebacker in mid-rounds. I have been reading a lot of mock drafts. Mm-hmm. Everybody's got this kid out of Tulsa, Collins, going to the Browns. It's in a lot of mock drafts. There's a couple other guys. There's a defensive end out of Miami. There's a couple other guys. To what Joe is saying, here's the only thing I'll pass it to Holly. We have drafted a lot of DBs early. Denzel Ward, Greedy Williams, Delpit. I know these are two cornerbacks and a safety. I really want someone on the front four or a linebacker. I don't want another DB. Only because we've done that a lot in previous drafts.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think so. I mean, look, I have to go through a lot of the I haven't gone through a lot of the mock drafts yet, and I want to. I know we have more picks later on. And who knows, maybe we can keep that, if we even keep our pick, you know what I mean? Maybe try to get more. So I trust the powers that be here, but they know where our holes are. It's the defense, clearly. So that's where they're going to aim. I truly believe that. So, and look, we still got a lot of guys we have to sign that are still on our team. So we got to get that figured out first. Because we got, who is it? It's like a good chunk of guys. Ward, Baker, obviously, Chubb, Wyatt Teller. We could extend extensions, and it would just, we got to get our defense figured out.
We have to do something on defense.
Say that, without just saying it.
Right, and that's where I was going to allude to. Joe makes another good point. Woods plays a 5-2, though. Here's where Joe Woods has said in the offseason that I had a hard time picking up in season. And this is a bigger conversation. Joe does play more of a 5-2. He also plays a 4-3. He does all sorts of things. He's definitely a hybrid defensive guy. I really want to see the defense improve, yes, with talent, but I also want to see Joe Woods improve. I wouldn't mind Stefanski sticking his nose on the defense too. Here's another thing I would actually add to Joe's point. I really would. Holly said, and I was going to bring this up, that first round pick, if you can get a JJ Watt, I would probably pull the trigger. I know it's a really, really high pick.
Yeah, that's not. I don't know how realistic that is, and it's not. Well, I know that it's not realistic. Actually, I mean, it's
I
just
don't.
so.
Yeah, I don't think they would ever. I don't think they would ever do that. But I think J.J. Watt is going to want to win a Super Bowl just as much as we do as fans, and just as much as that team does. And you cannot double team Watt and Garrett. You just can't.
Right. Agreed. But then you look at Watt, older. So then I'm going to compare him back to Hendrickson. He's older. He's 32, and he's due more than $17 million in 2021. Yep. How are we going to pay him?
I know.
And unless we did some type of trade in the situation, but that you cut with that. And then, I just think that we shift. I think Hendrickson with Garrett would be awesome.
That's true. So that's true. I mean, you're not wrong. And Joe's right. I am taking a risk. I think the Browns can take a risk to do something like that. Because here's another guy, Von Miller. I would love to get Von Miller in Cleveland. Love it. He's very talented. Those are two Aggies. Those are two guys who are Aggie alums, A&M and A&M. And I'm a believer in that sports. When you connect guys like that, the LSU connection the Browns already have. To get get Garrett, get Von Miller, who are A&M and Aggie alums. I think that's another one I would do. And there's been rumors about Von Miller not coming back to Denver. That's another guy. Again, it's a high pick. I get it. Maybe it's a second round pick. I think the Browns need to do that. What about Shaq? JV has heard you're funny. Yeah, exactly. At this point, with all the LSU guys, Greedy Williams, OBJ, Landry, Delpit, Phillips. I mean, my God, the team's full of them. Damian, Joe Woods does anything that doesn't involve creativity. I wouldn't go that far, but here's what bothered me about Joe Woods, and I'll have Holly rebuttal. I never thought he made in-game adjustments well. I just didn't.
He never really applied pressure,
Never.
There wasn't, especially against the Chiefs. So I he's a big question mark.
I think so too.
A move too. I don't know what they do, but I don't think he's going anywhere. I really don't.
No, and he deserves a chance.
Yeah.
I want him coming back. I want to see what he can do. But I am not. Oh, Shaq Barrett. Oh, okay. Jay, I was gonna say Shaq for. Yeah. Sorry, there, Shaq Barrett. Going back to those Joe Woods things, I want to hammer this home. Joe Woods to me has a lot to prove. Holly brings up the Chiefs game, Steelers game. I know we won in the playoffs, but that was shaky towards the second half. We're all being fair and honest. In that Monday Night Football game with Lamar Jackson, we made no adjustments. None. Zero. It was mind-numbing. And talking to people around the industry and around football, they all said it. The Browns don't make adjustments.
No.
This is it. Here we go. Yeah. Best of fucking luck. And I don't want that next year.
That's how you not win. So
no, I just don't. I just think that's a bigger part of this story too, along with adding talent, draft. But Joe Woods does need to make adjustments better to me. And I think there's going to be a lot more pressure on him. And yes, Delpa needs to be healthy. The Greedy Williams question. And that's why Joe brought up, do you draft a DB? I get it. I just think this team has drafted so many defensive backs in the past, I'd say even 4 or 5 years. I think it's time to draft linebacker. Definitely. And I know they've been drafting linebackers too, but someone in the first 2 rounds, a linebacker and someone on the front 4 again.
We do. I agree. No, I'm with you there. And I think they know that. I mean, I do. This is the first time I really feel confident going in here. And we'll see what they do. This is a fun draft for us. We don't have to worry about any major shit. So
we're not going to be watching Trevor Lawrence's pro day tomorrow. We're not going to be like surfing.
Guy, by the way.
Oh, I am with you. I love football. I don't like these 3 things. Pro days. I don't care about the stuff in Indianapolis. And I'm not a fan of these spring football games in college. And I love college football.
Yeah, I'm with you there.
Do not care.
They're dumb.
These games mean nothing. Nothing. Pro days, oh my gosh. I've seen the best pro days, worst pro days. You know what they mean? Nothing. Nothing.
Yep.
Nothing. Carson Wentz supposedly had one of these great pro days. How's that working out? And poor Tom Brady looked fucking old and slow in Indianapolis for the combine. And how'd that work out? pretty good.
Well, you know, and again, that just goes to show you that there's so many other pieces and parts it takes to build on and to really become and reach your full potential. If you have the right people in place surrounding you, and you have the right leadership, and you're willing to work for it, and you put yourself or you put, you know, your career and everything before your character. You know what I'm saying? And that's like, oh, I shouldn't say that. You know what I'm saying? The fluff, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. A lot of these guys get in their ego. That's the word I was looking for, not the character, because character is really important. But
I also think too, and it's hard in football. I think it's much easier in basketball. I think it's much easier in baseball because there's a lot of one-on-one individual matchups where you can say it's a pitcher and a hitter, or it's, you know, it's 5-on-5. But there's so many times you can see this kid can really dribble, or he can post up, or he can block. Football can be hard where it's like, is he this good because he played at Alabama, or is he really this talented? And that can, I think in football, it's razor thin. I talk about this all the time. Like, there's the elite players, but there's a lot of players in the middle, and they're just razor thin differences. They're not big. They don't stand out. Like when the Indians were winning, and I'll even take this year, there's a big difference between Nick Whitgren right now and Phil Maton, and you can see it. It's very distinct. In football, is there really a big difference between Terrence Mitchell and Robert Jackson? There is, but it's not. It's not big.
We have some pretty good options this year. I like the fact that we have a good little pool. There's a couple of different ways that we could do this. So I'm glad that we have a little bit of, an option here to go between who we think might work. And we really, I mean, at this point, and also with the draft, it's always a crapshoot. You don't know. Like you just said too, it's like you don't know how someone's going to perform. The top, when Baker was drafted that year, you had the top 4 guys. It was kind of going to be a crapshoot of who was going to be the one that was going to be the breakout. And I'm happy that we still went with Baker out of all of them. I still do,
Again, and the growth process for Baker has been wonderful to see. And when you take a step back, think about this 2 years ago. Look at Carson Wentz and look at Jimmy Garoppolo and look at Baker Mayfield.
How about Jimmy Garoppolo, man?
It's bad.
It is. And I wanted him in Cleveland so bad.
We all did. It's bad. And again, it just proves to you, Jimmy Garoppolo went to the Super Bowl. They were ahead in the 4th quarter. And now he is getting pushed out. It's politely, but he is getting pushed out. It's so funny when you read the comments. Oh, I forget his name, the old offensive coordinator for the Browns. Anyways, but it's funny. Like you can tell, he's like, we don't mind if we like him. I don't know why all these rumors are going around about us getting quarterbacks, but we like him. He's nice. Yeah, it's all right. It's like, dude.
I know. I'll be a shoulder for him to cry on any day. Well, works for me.
Easy on the eyes. Something I want to make this serious for a second, Holly. I want to make us set the edge here, a serious moment.
Andy, you froze on me. Was this part of your deal? Because you froze on me. You there? Andy? You're on mute. You're still on mute.
I had a big serious moment. Is everybody clipping?
No, and it was the perfect moment. Then I'm like, can anyone still see? I was thinking to myself, can anyone still see me and hear me right now? Or is it because Andy's in control? I wasn't sure.
I've had such wonky phone issues today. So I think it's great to have a funky, bad internet day. Yes. Sure is a serious moment. Thank you, Damien. This is what we call a dramatic pause in the documentary.
It was. You were. I mean.
So Holly and I are definitely people who have yachts. And I just want to say, that was one of the not safe, not pandemic protocol safe, but that trophy boat parade party reminded me of those 90s videos from spring break.
Yeah, because all those guys are old enough, basically, to have been partying on MTV Spring Break, like when it was popular.
Tom Brady getting carried off by a train.
Oh, I'm here for all of Tom Brady just letting loose, letting those wheels come off. I love it. I mean, him carried out of there, the avocado tequila, and like, I mean, I fucking awesome. I loved it. And I know we talked a little bit about this last week, I guess, but a lot of people don't like him, and I just don't. Look, I never liked the Patriots, right? It was annoying. They won all the time, and he's the greatest, he's a GOAT. He's the best. And look, he went to Tampa Bay, but he took this Tampa Bay team to a Super Bowl and won. And I think and he's 43 years old. And I like the fact that he was a little gritty in the Super Bowl this year. I saw a different side to him, and I liked that he was just letting loose, as he should. 7 Super Bowls, like 7 rings. Yeah, toss that trophy to another boat. Throw it. You deserve it. Ocean water out of it. I don't care. He deserves to do whatever the hell he wants. I mean, I can't. How do you hate on it? Wow.
It was the most unique parade I have ever seen from the standpoint of
Florida.
Oh, it was Florida to an F. It was fucking fun. Like just tossing shit. Tom Brady wearing Umbros and is drunk. Gronkowski, look, the best parade ever was our parade. Number 1, the Cavs parade. 2 was Kansas City. Tampa Bay battle. Kansas City parade last year was crazy. That parade, Tampa Bay's parade, I will say that is the most unique parade I have ever seen.
All those hardcore Bucks fans down there.
I mean, and by the way, you'll never see him again. You'll never see him, but my God, they showed up. That was insane. I want to do a documentary just on that 20 minutes on the boat. Nothing about the game, just the 20-minute boat parade. That's it.
That's great. I love.
Oh my God.
It was so funny, and only for the pure fact of just watching Tom Brady just out of his mind, drunk, just loving life.
I agree. How old is Tom? I think he's Joe. I think he's like 41, 42 because he graduated Michigan. He's 43. Is he 43? Wow. Yeah. Jeez, I'm 41. Oh my God. Tom Brady and I are the same age. Oh my God, I feel old. Holly made a point though. I live in New England. So I will tell you someone who's obviously living here. Tom Brady can get very annoying. And super Tom and everybody. But I will say, to what Joe's alluding to, I'm glad about the Chiefs because the Chiefs and Browns are going to be battling forever. So I like how the Chiefs lost. I like that. I like how some of the players are internally pissed off at Mahomes for saying stuff. Hey, whatever. The Chiefs didn't show up, so I don't blame Mahomes. That was a no-show. No-show. No-show.
Yeah. Yep.
So for everybody getting all, upset about comments, hey, outside of like, there's some individual plays made on defense, but my God, that was just bizarre.
Well, the problem is too, is that, he didn't necessarily take any responsibility for the loss. And I don't think that it wasn't Patrick Mahomes' fault that they lost, but as the leader, the quarterback's supposed to be the leader of the team, right? That's that whole idea that he should have taken this loss is on me. This loss is on me as a leader of the team. That's what you do. Baker did it this year a couple times when it didn't fall on Baker's shoulders. And a lot of other really great quarterbacks have said those things. So the problem is too with that whole thing. And I know, Andy, we just briefly talked about it too before we jumped on here, but it was one quote that you kind of took out of a bigger couple sentences that he was trying to explain maybe what happened when he was answering questions. So, again, it's a lot of that clickbait stuff and they pull out. And if you just listen to that one sentence, then sure, you might, judge on it. I go back and forth. I see both sides. I see the fact that, he was just explaining like what was really going on, but he did not take, from what I heard at least. So let's just get that out there, any real ownership of the loss. It wasn't, this is on me as a leader of the team and I could have been doing what else I could have to help us get there. So anyway.
I think Mahomes deserves a pass. And that's where I'm going to leave it. And what I mean by that is he got blown out. It was embarrassing. The Chiefs looked awful. It was really clear the Chiefs were not prepared. It was so shocking. It was shocking. It was very shocking. That is the
they
most.
didn't get there till Saturday night, Andy. You know, they're
Saturday
playing
night.
Tampa Bay. That's where Tampa Bay played. I mean, there's a lot of different factors that went into it.
Correct.
We talked about it. His Andy Reid's son. I mean, that whole thing, huge distraction, as you said. So there's a lot of factors I think that added into why, they couldn't get it done.
I thought Andy Reid looked like he was relieved that the game was over. And what I mean by that is like he knows he's got to be a dad and take care of some bigger stuff. And that's very understandable.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that is why the Chiefs did what they did. I did not listen to the press conference word for word, so I'm not going to go too far. But the only thing I'm going to say is Patrick Mahomes deserves a pass.
Mm-hmm.
He deserves a pass. Like there's moments for LeBron. Mayfield has done much better with this stuff. Just I don't want to go too far marching him down, but just people need to give him a pass. He's frustrated. They look crappy. It was a bad loss. That was a bad loss.
Well, look, and he's under the microscope. Anything he says right now, people are going to take. This is a slow news cycle of time. So we're going to analyze and pick up a lot of shit that probably would be overlooked much quicker.
Everything. And to go down that road for a second, going to the Super Bowl itself, for people who didn't notice, usually Super Bowl, bigger games, big events, Oscars is another good example. Ratings usually pretty much come out by 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock the next day. Mm-hmm. Pretty quick. The Super Bowl ratings did not come out until about the next morning. And JVS, we're going to talk about the Cavs. Don't you worry. I have lots of opinions about the Cavs. I want to do the ratings, and then we're going to get to JVS's comments. We're going to talk about Porter, too. So we can get asked that a lot about on the Instagram page after the games. But I want to bring up the ratings real quick. The ratings were at an all-time low comparing to the Bears and Colts Super Bowl, which was a boring snooze fest, even though it's Peyton Manning's first ever Super Bowl. The bigger question is, what does this mean? And the one thing I was going to bring up that Holly and I talked about offline that I'm going to do now, I really think this plays into the part of why the media has an important role of building buzz and building up game momentum. That Super Bowl was a big Super Bowl, and you did not feel the buzz of that game until about Sunday, 1 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
And that's shocking. That is a big game. That is Patrick Mahomes, Tom Brady, big spot, Midwest and South. These are not two East Coast teams. This is not LA. This is a big time. Everybody connects with these teams. It's Andy Reid. Aaron's not a big name, but like a lot of big hitters. Tyreek Hill. These are stars. These were two by far at the end. Outside of maybe Aaron Rodgers, these were the teams. This was it. The Chiefs have by far performed the best, had the best talent, and the Tampa Bay with Gronk. It was a Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. It didn't feel super. It didn't.
No.
It never did this. It never did last week. It was
very
weird.
The ratings were the lowest they've been since 2006. That's a long time. And it's interesting because and how ratings work and how viewership is measured, it's the average of the audience watching at each minute of the game. So the longer the game is competitive, the more viewers are going to stay tuned in, and that's going to measure the viewership. So that's what happens. And then so when they went down 31-9 or whatever, at that point it was like done. The game ain't on anymore. And people are turning it off. And I do think, it goes back to that question that we've been asking all year. Like, what's going on? Why aren't people watching TV? Mm-hmm. Of all days to be watching the game, it's cold out. You can't go anywhere. What the deal is. And I think there's a lot of, we talk about this a lot of all the different factors. And I think one of the bigger ones that I do think is really true is that people just have other things that they're worrying about that maybe they just don't have the time. I mean, people are losing their jobs. People have loved ones that are sick. Their focus just is maybe elsewhere, and they just don't care. A lot of people's idea of what's important shifted this year, I think. And as much as sports brings a great joy, it's also realized that maybe it's not as important as maybe they thought it was to them in the past. I think there's not one answer. I think it's a myriad of answers of why people aren't watching sports anymore. But I think, the Super Bowl, you would think, would have been a huge get, especially this year with who was playing. But also, you got to think about the media. There was like thousands of media members that didn't get credentials this year.
Correct.
They didn't go. So then that coverage is gone. They're sitting in their house doing the coverage. It's not exciting.
It's not the same zippy.
No.
It's just not. And I think to a bigger point, JV has heard on Facebook, there was no underdog. I think that's very true. I think that's very fair. I think JVS, again, I think the average fan is tired of both. I agree. I've been hearing that a lot.
Married to Pat Mahomes yet? I can't.
I think there are people I've not heard so much Mahomes. I've definitely heard that about Brady. And I'm in that camp.
Well, yeah, he's been around. Yeah, I get it. Everyone's sick of seeing him win. So I understand that whole thing.
It's enough.
But again, he's making history. And I'm trying to look at it as the fact that I will probably never see someone like this in my lifetime play in this position again.
He, to me, after the Super Bowl, has gone into Tiger Woods, before knew Lance Armstrong was a steroid guy, Michael Jordan stuff. Like it's Michael Jordan, Montana, like he's in that unique cloud now. Reggie Jackson stuff, like just stuff where it's just like, wow, like he is on a different level.
So how do you not want to appreciate that, and see that? And do things kind of get old? Look, I think about when the Cavs and Warriors were going to
that was fun.
The finals every year. Now, sure, it was fun because we're Cavs fans, right? Our team's going to the finals every year from the Warriors. But I wrote an article about this back, I think it was 2017. Ratings were really down for the finals that year because it was the Warriors and the Cavs again, and people are sick of seeing it. So I get it. I understand that. This is a little different. Look, the Chiefs were back. Pat Mahomes is still young enough and relevant. I don't think he's hit to that I'm sick of seeing him win, but I mean, I'm sure people are obviously sick of seeing him win, but I didn't expect it to this point where the Super Bowl ratings would be down this immensely. So
I think Holly touched on a few things here. To Javius's point, which I agree with Javius on one thing. The Chiefs are not very likable. Now, we're Browns fans, so we're not going to like them now because they're someone we have to get through to go to the Super Bowl. But they're cocky. They're arrogant. I thought that was something else that really interested me in this game that I couldn't get over. I thought the Chiefs did not respect Tom Brady or the Bucs, and I found that to be shocking. But they use antics after the touchdown. I was like, hey, like I get if he says something and you're getting fired up, but I just thought some of the things the Chiefs were doing, it's like, I'm not saying you have to bow down or kiss the feet, but you gotta say like this is a legend. Like it is the Bucs with Tom Brady. It is a very different team, and you just didn't get the feeling the Chiefs. I felt that way watching the Chiefs all year. They just kind of went through the motions at times, and I thought in the Super Bowl that's what we saw. We talked about Jason Lloyd weeks ago, and I said they just flip a switch. They kind of had that mentality in the Super Bowl. And you know what? You can't do that against Tom Brady.
No, you can't. No.
And I really thought that was a big problem in this game. And so, again, I agree with Javius on this point, too. It becomes predictable. And 17, to Holly's point, we were Cavs fans, so we all thought we had a chance to win. I know a lot of people did not think the Cavs had a sniff in that playoff series because of Durant playing for the Warriors. I know that played a big part of the ratings being down. And I agree, Damian, so cocky on Facebook. I agree. I thought the Chiefs were cocky. And it came off in every one of their games. I really felt that way. And I was shocked. That's why when Winfield, the kid from Cleveland, got a flag late in the game, and he definitely was rubbing it in Tyreek Hill's face. I mean, look, I'm usually a guy who doesn't applaud that, but I got it. I totally get it. Yeah. And that spot, I'm like,
well, look, they've won how many games out of their last? It was like 20-some. They'd only lost one game, right? Or Mahomes
two, but the Charger game they didn't even try. So that's okay.
So, but on top of that, like, yeah, well, they are going to go in there probably pretty competitive, and rightfully so. Like, I get it, right? But yes. They underestimated Tom Brady, and you can't do it. You just can't do it. Now, question for you, Andy: do they? Oh, sorry, as I get all excited over here. Do you think they win it next year?
The Bucs? Mm-hmm. No, the Browns are winning it. Browns are winning it all. You heard it here first. Browns are going to Super Bowl. I'm not fucking around. The Browns are going to.
I know you're not. I don't think they're going to win it. Do I think they'll get further? They got to at least get to where they were this year, or there's going to be a lot of hell to pay.
Yes, but being a neutral participant for the NFC, will the Bucs win? I can see it. I'll say this. I was impressed with the Buccaneers' will to win. And what I mean by that is, like, if I'm being truthful and I'm being fair, yes, it's the Buccaneers and the Patriots. I didn't see a huge difference in times. What I mean by that, it's like I felt like I was watching the Patriots play the Chiefs with Tom Brady being for the Bucs. It felt like a Patriot type of game, even though they're two different teams, very different coaches.
Yeah.
It felt like you were watching the Patriots.
Well, they wanted it more.
They
right?
did.
I mean, and that's what it always comes down to that. You got to have that will to get it done.
And Tom Brady, Tiger Woods, Lance Armstrong, Montana, and certainly Jordan. They had that. We're going to step on your neck and cut your throat attitude. And boy, oh boy, is Tom Brady got it.
Why I appreciate the GOAT. I do. I really do.
Forever taken. Detroit should trade Harrison and Galloway for OBJ. Look, here's the thing. OBJ to me needs a chance to stay. There's been a lot of rumors again. That guy Harrison the guy from ESPN brought up the fact maybe you go Tampa. If you're going to do that, though, you got to get something back. You got to get something back. That's why I brought up the fact, would you trade JJ Watt? And by the way, Houston's not doing this, so it doesn't matter. But like, would you trade Watt for OBJ? I would pause and probably pull the triggers. I think that would make a lot of sense because you're getting someone who can rush the passer. I think that's something the Browns really, really need.
But if we get rid of OBJ, then we're also getting a lot of cash freedom.
I know.
So that's what we're getting.
I know. I just think OBJ, I am more and more going into camp of like, I actually kind of want to see what he can do unless the trade is just something you have to, it just makes too much sense. In that case, then I think you do it.
I see him fitting in, and I see Tampa being more up his just everything. I don't know. He just seems to fit better there. But I'm with you. I want him. I would like to keep OBJ for the year.
This is not like a cut bait. He can play, and the Dallas game always sticks in my brain. I always remember that. I'm like, remember, he really won that game, and he was wonderful that day. And there's a very fair perception saying, what would he be with a full year? So I don't want to give up. I'm not giving up on him. I want him to come back, but the trade makes a lot of sense. I'm telling you.
Oh yeah.
I would pull that trigger on a trade. A key offseason signing too, I want to mention against Hollywood Higgins. It gets kind of lost in a shuffle. That's a big deal. And he's an unrestricted free agent, so they have to bring him back.
He wants the money.
Yeah, Javius, I agree with you, brother. It is Brown's turn now. Damian again. When Hill's going to stand on the goal line and wait in the flip in the end zone. Yeah, I agree. He did that against the Bucs. He did, and that I remembered that, and I thought about that. It's karma.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought there's a moment in the Super Bowl where they had the camera on Hill. And he was losing his shit. I don't blame him because you could feel it was weird. My son said it, and he's 11. He goes, Chiefs are dead. And it was like late in the second quarter when they scored that touchdown to go into half. I kind of looked at him like, I think he's right. I can't believe I'm saying this. That game had no zip in the second half.
Yeah.
Here's the other thing.
To come out. Okay. Yeah. Go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off. But here's the other thing. Here's the other thing too about sports that Holly and I talk about constantly is we'd like to do more of these remote shows. Sports is big on gatherings, and right now there's no gatherings. Mm-hmm. And when it's winter in a pandemic, you're not going to have a gathering. And that's my only note for the ratings that might be falsified. There are a lot of people that go hunt and gather in either bars or at families' houses to watch a Super Bowl. And there's a connection there. And when you're not connecting with humans, and that's why you watch said Super Bowl, you're not going to watch it. I will say that played a part of the ratings and just did.
Yep. No, I agree, definitely. And on top of that, too, a lot of places, and depending on where you live, have pretty strict curfews right now where you still can't go inside and watch or eat inside right now, still in some areas and states. Correct. So that's another thing. You don't know what people are doing. And yeah, if they're not like, I don't have a dog in the fight, I can't go watch anywhere with my friends, go to the bar. I'm going to, say screw it this year. Yep. Maybe Budweiser didn't advertise. God. I mean, there's a lot of factors that go into. I'm kidding. Nobody's not watching because of Budweiser. Please, God. Hopefully, no one talks about any seriously.
Anheuser-Busch, you can sponsor us anytime. I thought that seltzer commercial was very funny.
Oh, 100%.
Loved it.
Let us know.
Loved it. By the way, Will Ferrell forever.
I know he's the best.
Just give him a channel, please.
Will Ferrell fan for sure.
God, I actually was lucky enough. When was that? When was that ice skating film that came out? Was that like 05, 06? The ice skating thing we did with, yeah. Mm-hmm. He actually came to ESPN, and I was his handler for the night. That was one of the most incredible, just cool nights Oh, and he was very normal, big sports fan. And he was, again, like very nice. Like, hey, I just told him, I was just an AP, just running around. That was before 30 for 30. So I was just like another dude. And it was funny. He's such a big USC fan. And he was just intrigued by just talking sports. And it was funny. Like when watching a guy like that, it's very impressive because he's very acting chill and normal. And as soon as I think it was Kenny Mayne did an interview with him. Bam. Like light switch. Like I am now the actor. And it was incredible.
That's so cool.
Javius, it was awesome. I felt like $1 million and I got to hang out. I had to hang out too with the other dude. It was Will Ferrell.
That guy that played Napoleon Dynamite.
Yes. Yes.
Who apparently seems to be too cool to be Napoleon Dynamite again ever in his life. Michael.
I forget.
Something.
I forget. I will say he was a very nice guy and a very unique individual.
Mm-hmm.
A nice guy. Very nice guy. But Will Ferrell was great. Oh my God, was he great. Oh my God, was he great. Oh, big USC fan. 46 minutes in. We have still not talked about the Cavs. I guess we'll get to the Indians next week. But my last thoughts on all the stuff with the Browns, I think you will see a lot more ramp, as my son was asking today. Usually after President's Day weekend, and I think this year will be no different, you will start hearing more rumors. I think you'll start hearing more about this stuff. And again, I think it's not going to be re-signing unless it's like Hollywood Higgins. I don't think we'll hear about contract things yet, but don't be surprised. JJ Watt, I agree with you about Hendrickson, rumors about trying to sign him. I think the trade rumor machine will start getting heated up after this weekend. I really do. I'd be surprised if it didn't.
It'll be the season.
Yes.
I'm excited for it.
Yes, I would just be prepared for that. By the way, I'm going to ask a random question. We'll get to the Cavs. Is the Oscars still on this year? It usually happens around this time of year too. Is it really? Man.
But it'll be Golden Globes first.
Yep.
Which I like the best because it's TV and movies.
And it's much more personable.
Yeah, at the tables, even though they're not doing that this year, but I love that whole thing.
Yes. Like I can see me and you or other people being there. Like I can see that. The Oscars, oh God. For people who haven't been, Kodak Theater is tiny. It is the most biggest LA thing ever. So it looks like this huge cathedral and it's tiny. It is not big. Like Playhouse Square and Kodak Theater I bet you there's more seats in Playhouse.
Really?
Yeah, Kodak is tiny. It's a box. But it's beautiful. And it's because the ESPY Awards, I worked in the ESPY Awards forever. So the Kodak Theater would be the ESPYs. And you just get in there and you're like, that's it? Like you just like Nokia Theater, big. Whoa, that's huge. Like Kodak Theater, it's like, oh, there's my mom. Like you can spot people. It's really, really not. It's very intimate, as I like to say.
Gotcha.
Intimate.
Very cool.
But yeah. No, by the way, the best pizza in LA is right across the street, Hollywood Pizza. And it doesn't look like it. It actually tastes like New York pizza.
Don't ever look like it.
I know.
So
no, because people used to laugh. They're like, I'm getting California pizza. I'm like, the best pizza place, it doesn't look like it. It's right there. It's right there. It's right there. By the way, before my screen froze, I now remember, for people who haven't been, when you go coastal, west or east, get bagels. Get them. East Coast, West Coast, they are the best. There's no comparison. Zero.
That's very true.
Zilch. When you're in the city, you're in San Fran, get a bagel. Like, run to get bagels.
Yes.
Speaking of running,
with you on the plane on a red eye.
I do not eat bread as much anymore, and even it's the weirdest thing. That used to be the biggest treat when I used to do 2 or 3 days a week in New York, and that'd be like the one thing. Working in film, you'd be working late nights, and there's nothing better than doing either there'd be these places around Grand Central where they'd be like half off bagels, like at usually like 7 o'clock at night, they'd be like half off bagels. So it's like, oh fuck it, whatever. And or pizza stands, and it'd be literally my God, just be so good.
Nothing like a New York bagel, especially like I'd be out when I was going out there a lot for work, and we'd have late nights. I mean, I never had an early night in New York ever. I mean, it was always late, and the only thing to ever cure any type of, hangover / no sleep / whatever was a New York bagel and a nice hot piping coffee. I mean, that was the best thing.
in that blue cup. In that
Yep.
blue
Yeah.
cup. What you don't know what the writing says? Like,
No.
I just need one of those blue cups.
These scribbles are like, I don't even know.
Yeah, who knows? Who knows? I remember someone asked me one time who was coming in from Ohio, like, what is that? I'm like, who fucking cares? Just grab it.
It's coffee. Just drink it.
It's really good. Like, that is the okay. Anyways. All right, Cavs. Everybody wants to ask. I don't miss Kevin Porter Jr., Damian. I talked about this last night. I'll bring it up again. That was a good trade. It wasn't working out. It just was time to go. But I will say this now. That was, and you can read all the quotes on Cleveland.com. That was a shit show. That was bad. Last night, I don't know if it was the altitude. I don't know if it was things that were just distracting and there's too many things going on. That was the first time I felt it. I'm like, this was the Cavs I was expecting. I'm kind of fucking concerned. This was bad. Garland didn't take a shot in the first half. Sexton's dribbling underneath the hoop. They have no plan, no thing. Drummond didn't care. I love Drummond. I'll defend him. I will also be a very, very appropriate when he didn't play well. That was checked out. I don't want to fucking be here, Andre Drummond, and that is concerning. None
of them had that attitude though. That was the lack of spirit that was in there. That, and even Bickerstaff said that, like, I can deal with the mistakes, the turnovers, the missed shots, all that stuff, but I can't live with the fact that you guys just didn't even want to show up. I mean, and that is a big thing. Look, do I think that the altitude does play a factor? I will say that. No one used that excuse from what I understand, but I will definitely say that does. I mean, if you go out there,
I agree.
It's a big deal. Altitude sickness and you trying to walk up this flight of stairs can be, pretty
challenging.
So I'm sure that definitely plays a part of it. Look, if that was the biggest reason all the time, then teams would always go out to Denver and lose. I mean, it's
right.
This factor, but it does play into something. So yeah, and they just didn't want it. And I think I had pretty high expectations. Well, I'll take that back. I had expectations of them going out on this road trip. I thought at least that they would hold their own to a certain extent. They would at least fight. They'd come close. I
like where this is going. Yeah.
I did not think we were going to get blown out. We're 2 of 8 in the last 10, and we've dropped 5 in a row against all playoff opponents, all of them. So it's frustrating.
This is the first time I'm seeing alarm bells. And what I mean by that is, like, I'm seeing things that aren't just one game where I'm like, I'm getting concerned. The Cavs need a point guard. I'm concerned about that. And I know they have a lot of good guards. They really don't have a true point guard. The Cavs need to get a true point guard. Chetty Osman's days, I'm getting the points. Like, I'm not understanding Chetty Osman's purpose. I know he's athletic. I know he seems to be a nice guy. I'm kind of done with this stuff. I like the idea of playing Jared Allen and Drummond. I'm still here to defend Drummond on not trading him. I gotta say, even me, who defends the Drummond flag, I think higher than most, that was alarming.
Yeah.
That looked like a guy who did not care.
It really slapped us back, I think, into reality of like what's really happening. And I don't want to. It's hard. They definitely shit the bed. This was the worst loss. It was real bad, and we were humiliated. But I do want to think that, look, that's not going to happen all the time. They have shown improvement. They're not going to. They've already exceeded our expectations so far.
I agree.
Up until this point. But yeah, this was a big test of like, okay, well, if you really want to you want to get to the playoffs and you really want to contend, well, you got to contend with these teams out here, and they're not. So
these next 3 games aren't easy. They have to win one of them. Clippers, Warriors, Blazers. Starts tomorrow night in Portland. Cavs never win in Portland. They got to win one of these next 3 games. They have to. If they don't, I hate to say it, even my humble self, it's like, I don't think this team can get out of this hole. They have to win one of these games.
This could be the drop, and we don't want that, but it's definitely possible.
Last night, if they have to either they have to compete, obviously, but they need to win. I'll be honest with you, I think they need to win. And I know Portland's good. They got Lillard. They got to win that game. Sorry. I know it's a fucking hard test.
All the teams, I think that's who they beat if they beat one of those 3.
Javius, I'm noticing that too, and I'm going to go a step further. This trip again has brought me into the eyes of like, you know what? The Cavs we all knew they were short of some things. A lot of more awards are being shown. I like the idea of Drummond and Allen playing together. I want to see that through a few more games, but the biggest thing in sports that I can't stand, I think all of us can't stand, is players checking out. Andre Drummond checked out. Colin Sexton he played hard, no plan. Just dribbling, no thing. And I know Garland didn't care. He didn't put much effort out. And again, Chetty Osman, he's got a headband on. Okay, cool. And he doesn't just run around. Yeah, Javius heard breaking news. We're not going to win any of those games. I know, but they got to win one of these games. I'm telling you.
You want to be competitive. That's what we expect at this point for them, at the very least.
Agreed. Damian, by the way, I'll go a step further. I'll read Damian's comment first. I'm going to go a step further on this. I just don't understand. We stayed with the Suns, who were better than the Nuggets, and lost by 38 to the Nuggets. And I'll go a step further. The Cavs, the bad Cavs, last year beat the Nuggets twice.
Yeah.
They've beaten this team.
Well, I don't know that they can. I think that's also why, honestly, people are really getting down on them, because they have shown that they can compete. So here we are. Why aren't you following through? I think so. Yes. People are really, really getting down on them, but I think at least people give a shit.
Well, I agree.
We were going to give a shit up until this point.
Great point, Holly Wetzel. She's right. That right there is the biggest thing. How many in past Cavs years would we be reading box scores and be like, well, let's look at the lottery? We're not doing that. And that's a big step forward, and that's good. There are some pieces in place. I like Okoro. I do like Sexton. He's having a bad run. I like Sexton. Garland has improved. Allen's good. Prince is good. Like some of these things. But there are some missing things. To Javius's comment, I agree, Javius. There's some contracts that got to go. They just got to go. And I'm going to say it again. I have been down on him for 3 or 4 years. So this is a new take. And I think he's a nice man. I don't understand Chetty Osman. I don't get it. I've never gotten him. Never. Mm-hmm. And I agree with Damian. That's my point with Chetty. Running around like a chicken with his head cut off. I agree. Chetty just runs, and it's like he doesn't really play good defense, and he just seems to always getting in murky spots. Murky.
Yeah, true.
And I think that's why they kicked our ass. I agree with you, Javis. I agree. And again, I will say, though, they are still one, obviously, and everybody can say it's an NBA, but it's really true with the Cavs. They need another one of those Elite Eight players. We already knew that. Didn't need a 38-point ass kicking to tell you that. But that's obvious. But this team lacks a point guard, and a team that's guard heavy now. They don't have a distributor. They don't. They need something. I heard Bradley Beal. That's a good example. Like someone in that who does pass and shoot. Right. They really, really, really do on this team.
Multidimensional. We got to make some moves here. We got to see. I mean, this was a nice rude awakening for all of us. Yes. We'll get to all the Indian stuff. I just want to bring up 1 or 2 quick things. There was a great article in The Athletic from Keith Law about top minor league organizations. I love Keith Law. I believe in Keith Law. He is the law to me. He ranked the Indians the 2nd best minor league organization. That is a great sign. I do think that's a good thing. And then I will quickly say, as I know I'm on an island, I am excited about Indians baseball. I can't wait. I know. Jared had the same reaction. I know. I love the Indians. I can't wait. Maybe it's because it will bring warmth. I am excited, though. Well, loving baseball and loving the Indian and getting excited for the Indians. It's getting excited for baseball season and getting excited for the Indians this year are 2 different things.
Agreed.
I love baseball. I'm excited for baseball. I hope that we can go because I'm still going to go. But to be excited for them, no. I mean,
I understand. I'm not going to. Again, it goes back to my Drummond now comments. I get it now. People want to trade Andre Drummond after last night. I get it. People going, I don't feel the same zip or buzz watching Indians. I hear you. You're not crazy. I'm actually more than crazy on that one. I know that, but I am excited. All that to be said. All right, so the Unsuper Bowl's done. Next week, we'll do more Cavs. We're going to do a lot more Indians. We keep punting it down the road. And I bet you by then, between now and then, knowing football, I bet you there'll be some new rumors coming out there. new trade possibilities. And we'll talk about that as well. I'll ask one more final wrap-ups. I thought it was a great thing today. Bumble came out live onto the stock market. And for people who obviously know what Bumble is, that's one thing. But I want to get more into the structure of the organization. It is a female-led company. And they came out today, and I thought it was a very cool story. Check it out on CNBC or any other of those things. I thought it was a great story, and they did it really well. I mean, they came out really. I think their stock hitting either in the low 40s, I want to say today, which is big. I mean, for stock, it just came out. Like, that was huge stuff. So great story. Read about it. Bumble came out today. Not so much you need to go on Bumble, especially if you're married. But
it doesn't stop people. Continue.
Does not stop anybody. We could do a whole thing on that in a different show, but cool story. Check it out. Again, the woman's name is Whitney. I thought she did a great interview today on CNBC, and she really, I just thought it was great stuff. I thought it was a really, really cool story today.
All right,
very, very cool.
Go on Bumble because you won't find any luck. Just end it with that.
In about 2 weeks.
Valentine's Day, everybody.
Oh yeah, happy Valentine's Day! Oh my god, you tell Holly and I are single. Yeah. Any big plans? Anything?
No.
Yeah. It's a Sunday this year, right?
Yeah.
Ugh. I think Sundays are always the most non-romantic days.
And I don't care. People on Facebook posting how you met. I don't care. Scrolling right through. I don't care.
The snooze button is a wonderful button.
Yeah,
because to Holly's point, and I'll do this and we'll say goodbye. I don't mind what you ate for dinner. I don't care how much you love your other partner. I think that's so nice. And talk about things and how they met and how they've changed the world and that favorite term, soulmate. Ooh, I don't mind it.
I don't care. Even if I have a happy, wonderful relationship right now, I still don't care how you met. So it doesn't matter. And God forbid if I ever put anything like that on Facebook, because nobody gives a shit.
Yeah, Damien. Yeah, I don't care how you met or how long you've been together.
Nobody cares.
No.
I'm glad you're happy. But half of the time people
that's
unhappy. So I don't believe anything anymore. I am not bitter this Valentine's Day at all, I swear.
No. And please give a long paragraph about how much you love the person only on Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
I love that. Totally down.
A random day in June.
Yes.
That's when it means something.
Yes. In January when you slip on the fucking ice. That. Or you totally fuck up something. You're like, oh my God, I've got to apologize. There you go. Bingo.
Right. 100%.
Bingo.
All right.
Bingo. But yeah, if you do want to buy me like a watch or something, anybody out there, yeah, I'm down. Holly too, probably.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but I was thinking like alcohol.
Alcohol's great. Yep. Nice new, whatever. I can't even be creative tonight, but yeah, whatever. We always like gifts on Set the Edge. Everybody have a great week. I will ask Wetzel live. Are we doing Wednesday next week or Thursday? What do you think? Because Wednesday seems to be a new. You want to do Thursdays?
We'll do the Thursday.
So we'll see you next Thursday. You come on back now. We'll talk about Valentine's Day stuff that did not happen to Holly and I. Oh, I'll do a whole show about Valentine's Day. That'll be good. In fact, now I got to show. So we'll do that. The Cavs are going to win, Damien. Not Damien, Javius. They're going to win. They're winning one of those games. God, it'd be great to be the Warriors.
They're going to take Portland. That's my goal. That's my guess.
God, I hope so. Anybody staying up till 10 o'clock? So it's going to be at 1 a.m. Well, NBA's been flying more. So 12:15. And going to be watching Cavs. 12:15. No. Holly Wetzel? Not there.
Watch the highlights.
Cameron Billman too. Good night. See you next week. Goodbye. Happy Valentine's Day. Post as much as possible. We want to talk about. Nope. JPS. Come on, believe. We got him. Got him. In the Rose Garden, by the way. The 2 days before Valentine's Day, the Cavs are beating Portland. You heard it here first. Goodbye.